AskReddit by Subtle Rapscallion. What's a common everyday saying that actually makes no sense when you think about it? It's raining cats and dogs. I just stepped in a poodle. They all have a history of where they come from that may no longer make sense but definitely made sense at one time. I'm sure plenty of teenagers right now are asking their parents, why do we say hang up the phone? Makes no sense. I have to agree, unless we're talking about sayings like 23 skidoo or the cat's pajamas. There seems to have been a post-war environment of absurdism. Post both wars, I think. My dad used to think I stand corrected meant I stand here, correct when pertaining to an argument. One day he came home from work and was like, have I been using it wrong my whole life? I always believed I stand corrected to mean, I stand here, corrected by you the person speaking to me. Don't take it out on dear old dad though, he's normally very smart. Poor farm boy to established senior engineer, so I've learned a lot from him. So, what you're saying is he stood corrected. Deleted. After the 2008 election, John McCain made this joke to Jay Leno, except his version was sleep a couple hours, wake up and cry. Cat got your tongue? Makes sense if you're performing cunnilingus. Deleted. Always reminds me of Baron Munchausen and how he supposedly pulled himself out of quicksand, or swamp, by tugging on his own ponytail. Drunk as a skunk. Who was this skunk and what on earth did he get up to? Sounds like a party animal to me. I always assumed it meant the person is so drunk that you can smell them coming from afar. Much like a skunk can be smelled from a distance due to potency. Half of the things my 13-year-old boy says these days. That shorty is fire on fleek. My dad has always hated when something is described as new and improved. He says something is either new, or it already exists and has been improved. It can't be both. It can be both. Something improved is also new, so it's redundant but not untrue. One day, rolling the window down or hanging up the phone would make zero sense. Or dialing a phone number. Shoot for the moon, if you miss you will land among the stars. I am guessing this person doesn't understand that most likely they will end up in the ocean. Sometimes you hit London. It's the quiet ones you gotta watch. This sounds to me like a very dangerous assumption. I will bet you anything that while you're watching a quiet one, a noisy one will fucking kill you. Suppose you're in a bar and one guy's sitting over on the side reading a book, not bothering anybody, and another guy's standing at the front with a machete banging on the bar saying, I'll kill the next motherfucker who comes in here. Who are you gonna watch? George Carlin, back in town 1994. R.I.P. George Carlin. What doesn't kill you, makes you stronger. No it doesn't. It leaves scars and complications that are probably going to be with you for life. Anyone who's had the joy of a major injury or illness can tell you that. I personally believe that the same is true when people start spouting this about emotional pain. Anyone that's had a newborn baby knows that slept like a baby does not mean slept great. So you cried all night and pooped yourself? Head over heels. Isn't your head usually over your heels? Heels over head would make more sense. Isn't the full phrase falling head over heels? Where over is more like a trajectory rather than a stable location. Like a bottle falling over. Head falling over top your heels describing the direction of your forward tumble. That's at least how I thought it was. The exception that proves the rule. This makes no sense, especially when you look at the mistranslated Latin origin. An exception that proves a rule is a rare and unique case that has many non-standard factors. This incredibly rare exception proves the general applicability of the rule. I could care less. No. You mean I couldn't care less? I couldn't care less is the expression though. At least in the UK. We have some weird sayings in Greek I could write for hours. A few. We sat the boat. Good wines. Your bad weather. And last but not least, probably the best of the best. Bees all around and flowers on my dick. Please tell me what each of these mean. You have your work cut out for you. So I have an easy job? I mean, if everything is cut out for me, I should only have to worry about putting things together. The cutting was the easy part. Anyone who uses literally for something that cannot be taken literally. Kleptomaniacs are the worst people to joke with. They always take things literally. Deleted. I always felt that it's implied to be the last place you could have looked. Storm in a teacup. Also tempest in a teapot. I'm not sure how commonly the phrase is used anymore. Yet people often identify with it more often these days. It means an excess of rage and concern over matters of no consequence. This one is an obvious impossibility. Also an enjoyable song. https://yahoo.be/60dvqa_q2hw feature a shared closed bracket from the Chili Peppers. Don't make a mountain out of a molehill is the American version of that saying. Fall 3 times, get up 4 times. Inspirational sounding, but really should be, fall 3 times, get up 3 times. I know there are a lot of guns in the US, but how do you shoot the breeze? The breeze is being metaphorically shot from your mouth. Which is to say, you are not really doing anything. Just chilling and talking. Spitting image is a mispronunciation of the southern black phrase spirit and image. The phrase does sound like spitting image when a country, southern black says it. He is the spirit and image of his grandfather actually makes sense. Oh, that makes so much more sense.